What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I am joined by my good friend Degenerate Jay. And in this video, we're going to be talking about DC fandom, just our general excitement, some things we want to see. I think both of us, maybe I can speak for both of us here. We are both gearing up big time for DC fandom. I fully trust Jay is going to crush it. I'm going to try my best to crush it, and I'm sure both of us will have plenty of other videos as well. I personally, we've talked a lot about Gotham Knights there. I've gone through a couple kind of rapid fire topics before. But just to kind of get, both of us on the same video and to kind of talk about where we're at with DC fandom. So Jay, before we get too far in, well, number one, make sure you guys are subscribed to his channel. Great guy, great content. And like I said, he covered DC fandom amazingly last year. He'll be doing the same again this year. So Jay, thank you for being here.
Hey, dude, thanks a lot for having me. I am looking forward to talking about Christmas. Fandome.
Same thing. It's Christmas come early. So, well, I'll go just really quickly. I'm very excited. I've said it before. I guess on a personal level, like my parents are coming to town during the same weekend, so it is a much more busy time in my life than I ever wanted it to be. But I'm really pumped. I think even from what I don't even think many people care about, like the scheduling aspect of it. I like it a lot more. Last year was very experimental, which was, I guess, to be, expected considering it was the first, one they've ever done. But, they delayed the comic portion of it, and it was an all-day thing, but at least for me, I did not watch the all. I kind of picked my times to come in. This year, 1 day, 4 hours. As of right now, when Jay and I are recording this, they don't have any specifics. I hope they tell us okay, this 30-minute section is the game segments. This section is movies. I think they will, but we haven't gotten that yet. So I think it's just hopefully going to be a lot better, put together. I think everything kind of worked as expected, last year. Once everything got rolling, we got a lot of fun stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't, some stuff I didn't care about, some stuff I did, but this year brings with it, the games again, kind of part two, because it's probably the exact same games, nothing really new in terms of new games, but the same games again, probably a new Batman trailer, right? But now we get, so last year was Wonder Woman, now you replace Wonder Woman with Flash, and then instead of the behind the scenes of the Suicide Squad, now you're probably going to get behind the scenes of Aquaman 2. So a little swapping, but also not that I'm excited for Aquaman 2, but there's some excitement there. So Jay, where do you stand, on this year, maybe even compared to last year?
Oh man, the thing that I liked about Fandome was that they did include almost fan stuff in it too. I remember where they had some stuff talking to fans and that kind of thing. I think that's cool. For me, however, I'm probably more interested in the news and what's happening and what's coming out. I am interested in Gotham Knights, obviously. One thing I'm concerned about, I guess, for Fandome this year is a lot of the stuff that they can talk about is just Batman related. And I think that might sound weird since I originally made my channel. My channel's success originally came from, that character, talking about him a lot. And I've since then moved on to talking about a lot of other things and still that character and other DC stuff. But I've noticed that, let's look at the stuff that they have here. They have Gotham Knights, that's one of the big things, Batman related. I still don't think he's dead. They have Same. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Obviously, Harley Quinn is going to be pretty much headlining that in our Batman character. They have Robert Pattinson's The Batman movie that they're going to be promoting, very likely in some way. They have The Flash, which so far they've promoted entirely off of Michael Keaton. I don't know. I guess in those terms, plus if you look at the books going on right now for comic books, I know I'm much more in that scene than, you, which is not a knock on you, but it's just a expensive hobby to even read or follow now and very convoluted. A lot of it again is Batman related stuff going on right now. So I don't know. I'm just interested to see how they will be able to handle that. If they will be able to bring enough to the table that makes it not just feel like DC Bat Dome, because that's been kind of a frustration in the community lately with Batman and Spider-Man. I've noticed it in the last couple of years is, yeah, these characters are great, they're awesome, we love them, but what about your other 500 characters you own? And both DC and Marvel kind of go what characters? So I'm kind of interested to see how they'll handle that, especially when there's likely no news about Superman with Henry Cavill and all the other stuff going on around Superman movies. I guess it's like I'm excited, but I'm interested to see if they have more to offer here than just DC Batdome.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think so. How I look at it, and I even have these opinions for like E3 and stuff, which makes me generally unpopular. I get what you're saying. I guess so. I look at it as like I'm extremely excited for like the big things we're getting, and at the same time kind of saddened, but always this. It's not like a special thing for DC fandom at the other things that just they'll be there, but they just won't get the attention. At the end of the day, walking out of DC fandom, we'll be talking about gaming wise. There's only two. I don't think there'll be a third surprise one. Movie wise, it's like I think it's the big three, right? The Batman, Flash, and Aquaman 2. Those are probably the big three. Anything else, well, maybe there's something, but anything else probably falls kind of underneath it in terms of, I guess, the talk of the town, right? Like what people are talking about, and then everything else, I would even argue, at least for me, and like you said, one of the special aspects of DC fandom is it's for all different kinds of people. There's gonna be TV show stuff. There could even be HBO Max kind of movies, and some of those may appeal to some people, and some of them may appeal not to some people, and that's kind of their design. But a lot of those I just feel generally will kind of fall. They'll be swept under the rug because of the bigger stuff. Which I always get that sense. I prefer kind of companies, or in this case, I guess the production teams, I guess, to have like their own little like moment, in front of the crowd. And I guess that's kind of what this is, but it's still mainly focused on those big kind of moments, like you said, and like you said too, a lot of it's Batman. Ultimately, you're gonna have to move off of that. I mean, I guess you can do more Robert Pattinson movies after this one, but you do have to expand it. It does sound like very much, right, from all the stuff we've heard of all of these movies and just things that they're getting together on HBO Max. Like there's gonna be a lot of basically just a lot of DC stuff coming in the next couple of years. The issue is those don't get the spotlight that everything else gets. So I guess that's kind of me. I guess selfishly for me, or how I just see this event in general, is those big things. Even from like a content creator kind of point of view, right? Like, or even like you or me, like we probably have like a list of like, okay, these are the big things, and there could be smaller things that are more like passionate, or passion things in general, but like you're going in to see the Batman trailer and stuff like that, and then other things just kind of generally fall a little bit. So that's how I see this event.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same vein with that. I do think that there are things I want to see that are a pipe dream. Like, for example, I was the one person when they announced Batman the Caped Crusader, the animated series, where I was like, wait, really? Like, we need to go back to almost a more golden age-ish retro Batman and make another animated series. I know there will always be Batman animated series. I don't want to take away from people's enjoyment because it's Bruce Timm, and I'm sure I'll watch it eventually. At least I think it's him. And I think Dini might be back, but I could be wrong on that one. But regardless, the stuff that I want to see out of DC Animated is I would like to see them bring back the old DC Animated universe. And I've talked about that a lot, especially with HBO Max. Now, I think that there's a lot more reason to do so. You bring back things like Justice League. They've been doing that in the comics. They've been continuing the DC Animated universe with some of the original writers in the comics for things like Justice League Unlimited or Batman the Animated Series, all these old things. And I really would like to see them continue that and announce something at DC Fandome, but I don't really expect it. It seems like they're more interested in releasing a movie in that continuity every 5 years and then just doing comic books. And the reason I say that is because I'm kind of on the fence with where they're at for their animated stuff right now with DC, where some of it's really good, some of it's really mediocre and just okay, and all of it, for some reason, they seem to have a vested interest in changing the source material, where it never plays out the way it did in the original graphic novel or comic it's named after. And they keep doing different universes and continuities and stuff like that with their animated stuff. So I guess my whole point with all of this is I don't really know where DC's focus is now. If it's kind of coming off like a bit of a shotgun approach of like, well, let's bring back Keaton, let's do a new Batman animated series, let's like reboot the Dark Knight in a way. No offense to Pattinson, but that's kind of what it seems like, where it's a standalone Batman universe type thing separate from the DCEU. All this different stuff. where it kind of seems like they're just seeing what will stick. And while that could definitely make some good products that I want to see and want to see more of at Fandome, I just kind of wonder what their long-term goal is with this stuff and if they'll talk about that, because I think we're at the point where, especially for things like the DCEU, unless there's something going on behind the scenes with the Flash to reboot it and they have a big plan, I don't really think there is a big grand plan for a lot of this stuff right now. I think it's just taking it a project at a time, which could be good. That could lead to things like Mangold's Logan from, obviously Fox, off of the Wolverine character, where there was no grand design. It was just its own movie or its own project. But I don't know how they'll handle that, especially when Marvel, despite, what some people might think about their newer movies like Black Widow or Shang-Chi or any of these, they always have a plan. And I just kind of wonder if DC is going to ever address that or not, I suppose, especially with this event.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think an event like this is a really good time, like even to be cocky, right? And to kind of say like, we get it, we know what we're doing right now, and we know what we're doing in the future. And I think like that's even like a Disney Plus Day, right? How they did that last year and they're doing it again this year. It's kind of your moment to come up, gloat of how good you are, gloat at what you have coming, and then show like we have an extremely detailed. We're not gonna tell you everything, but a detailed long-term plan. So, and that's and DC fandom I think could really be like that. So I guess really quickly just to end it, I want to go over, Jay, your and I guess like top couple things we're most anticipating. I guess for me it's really 4, but that's kind of cheating. I don't really know how to rank them, but obviously the 2 games, just because I really want to see them again. The Batman, I'd love to see a second trailer, and then the Flash, I'd like to see pretty much anything the Flash related, I think would be pretty darn cool. Anything beyond that, Aquaman, I don't want to talk about. I'll watch it, and if Amber Heard's there, though, I'll probably turn it off. But that's something I'll be keeping, I guess, paying attention to, but not really. So, do you have like a top list that you would most be looking forward to?
No, yeah, you and I actually have the same exact list. Not to just parrot you, but the thing is, I wish I could throw comics on there, and I wish I could throw animated films or something on there. But the only thing I'm looking forward to with animated films right now is them re-releasing Batman Year One, and it's going to be on 4K. I don't know if a lot of people saw that. It wasn't really even announced, to my knowledge. It just showed up on Amazon, and it's been there. So, like, I'm interested to see if they'll mention anything like that. One of their older movies they're remastering, but that's not exactly exciting. And I wish I could say I was interested in the comics, but recently, for me, other than the Michael Keaton comic series that's going on and Batman The Adventures Continue, I've been kind of disinterested in some of the stuff that DC's been doing in their comics. They kind of swapped Clark Kent out for his son for the new Superman, which I always liked his son, but I never really thought we needed to go there right now. And I disagree with some of the writing for the Bat family stuff, but that's a whole nother can of worms. Basically, I'm looking forward to the same stuff, but I wish that I was looking forward to more, because I'm a big DC Comics fan too, where I love the comic books, and especially with some of their events in recent years, things like Death Metal and Doomsday Clock and stuff like that, I really enjoyed them. But then the follow-up comics to that, where they kind of just went back to status quo, or on the other hand, changed things just to do so, not for writing's sake. I don't know. This kind of stuff, it's like, I love this company, but I just don't know where they're going, and I don't know what they'll do once their source material is dried up, which it seems like it's starting to be.
So let us know, guys, in the comments. Maybe you have a short list too. Maybe you have a longer list. Let us know what you guys think. Again, make sure if you guys have not subscribed to Jay yet, obviously all his stuff will be in the description as a pinned comment. Definitely, give him, your subscription. Again, really, really great guy. We've done a lot of these videos together, and I know he'll kill DC Fandom. He'll probably do different kind of stuff even than me, so you'll definitely get some different content there. Make sure you guys are subscribed, obviously, to this channel. We'll definitely have more DC Fandom stuff here as well. Jay, thank you again so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, and thanks for letting me ramble about comic books. I appreciate it.
Anytime. I need a little bit more diversity on this channel. I constantly say to myself, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.